Good morning. It is Tuesday, July 23rd, 2019. Can the new buying volume in Bitcoin hold us at this trend line? We'll take a look at our indicators to see what they are telling us, and we'll announce our Altcoin Fantasy Contest winners today on this episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin. If you haven't already, I invite you to pause the video and read through our disclaimer because this is just market observation, not trading advice. And now, I'm very happy to announce our Altcoin Fantasy Contest winners. Congratulations to Butterscotch, Boom Nailed It, Stupid Sec for winning cash and prizes. We have 7 people who won the 3-month contest. And we have 2 people who won the lifetime membership. Thank you to everybody who participated in the contest. If you're one of the winners, be sure to drop by our Discord chat and get your prizes verified there. Let me put this in the live chat right now. Now, our main scene here today is this morning I was looking at the 1-minute bars just for entertainment purposes, and I could see these big buying candles coming in, and I thought, wow, that's a lot of Bitcoin buying to move the market like that. And I went and took a look at Bitcoin dominance, and it's making this top formation and going sideways, and it hasn't broken down yet. And this is kind of a requirement. If we're going to get the bull market from altcoins, Bitcoin has to ease off. But now let's jump into the charts, and what I want to do is do it backwards here today and start off with the 5-minute view and look at the RSI and then work our way backwards to a longer time frame. Because I'm a big believer in the 1, 2, 3 bottom formation, and when that breaks out, makes that W, it is something to pay attention to. So now it's made a larger potential 1, 2, 3. I want to pay attention to what it's doing there. And then as we zoom out, I want to also notice the RSI is a little bit positive while the prices are flat right along this bit. So it's very small time frame, but this is how the turnarounds start. And I want to pay attention to it because as we zoom out, we'll start to see that it's not definitive right now because we had the RSI show some strength while the prices were, you can see here, the prices were going down and the RSI was flat. So here we have the RSI going down and the prices are flat. So there is a similar divergence. We could get a run up off of this just from observing this divergence, but of course it's come back down, so it's not definitive. Let's zoom out further. The 1-month view, so we are seeing the RSI supporting, being a little bit higher here on these higher lows. That's supporting this. But when we go into the 3-month view, we can see that my death cross, the RSI from the 60-20 exponential moving average crossed over here. And it's more instructive to hide everything away except for that and get rid of even the prices so that we can see what we're looking at here. And then I want to expand this out and zoom in just so we can see how important it is that the exponential moving averages are accelerating. So this is more of a downward trend momentum that I'm seeing here. And the only way to see it is to get zoomed in like that. Now I've messed up my chart. So I'll bring everything back. Go back to auto. And there's our potential top formation with the exponential moving average crossover. And the RSI isn't giving a strong enough divergence here that's not giving me, I can't sink my teeth into that yet. And the daily RSI, we're still coming weaker here, and any breaks down below is continuing the downtrend of the RSI, which makes me feel like it's going weaker. And then when we get out to the weekly, this is when things are starting to, we saw that breaking down, and any time that the RSI on the weekly has started to downtrend at all, it usually goes with some momentum. So I am watching for this. We've been watching for this for the whole year now, to come back to this uptrend and then spike again after. So we're going to be watching close when it comes to this level all the way along here. This is going to be super key to pay attention to. Let's go on to the next indicator on the 5-minute time frame, which is the unbalance volume. We can see dumping, less selling here. And this is really small time frame, but now let's zoom out to the 15-minute time frame. Dumping, less selling going on here, but really close to that trend line. Out to the weekly, we can see it's stronger selling here, less, it's getting less strong all the way along here. This is the bull, this is less bullish, this is just like bearish to me now. When I go to the 1 month view, it's a little bit less selling here on this shoulder. That's the only bullish thing I can see as we're coming up to this important trend line. That's why I want to observe all this. The 12-hour time frame, less and less and less strong buying on these three tops. So that's bearish to me. It's a bearish divergence. And we can see that there's just like less buying all the way through these three shoulders here on the daily time frame. Again, bearish. So even though we have those 5-minute and 15-minute showing a bit of strength right at the very tip, I don't think they have what it takes to lift us up here. I want to observe it though, because look at these crossovers, a little bit higher all the time. This is a higher lows and this is pretty much flat. So that's the kind of right at the tip divergence I want to observe, so that as it unfolds one way or the other, we get more data. Let's continue on here. We see the same divergence building up. This is flat. This is sort of positive. We've got same low here, even though we've got lower lows. So this, the last 18 hours is showing a bullish turnaround. But is it enough? This is what I'm doing the recording for, so that we can observe all of these indicators. On the weekly, it doesn't look like enough, although it's almost crossing over. On the 4-hour, I would expect that this histogram has to pull back now if we're going to see any strength. This has to shorten and start coming up the other way. Just, that's got to be. So then that's the 4-hour histogram on the MACD indicator. Just repeat that out loud so that I'll remember it for tomorrow. So this is easing off, and should that cross and this go negative, well, that's confirming that things are on their way down more. But it's right at the cross. So if it continues on positive with the histogram there, that'll support this trend line here. The 12-hour time frame, now the 1-day time frame, looking not so good here. And it reminds me of what's going on with this pattern right here, where we had a top formation and there was a lot more down to come, and we're seeing a similar pattern here. So there could be a lot more down to come with our Bitcoin. That's the 1-day, and out to the weekly view. Exhaustion candles, the histogram is still falling back. We can see it getting weaker and weaker. This is almost crossing over now. And that is our early indicator, larger 1, 2, 3 top formation. So we could still see a retest up to these levels before price is coming down more. So it'll be a 1, 2, 3 top formation in a larger 1, 2, 3 top formation. Then we're getting down to the capitulation lows that the new futures traders will drive us all down to. They'll buy up all of the actual Bitcoin. Then they'll start driving the price up. We haven't seen the bottom yet, or we haven't seen the next low yet before the big real bull run. Now let's go to the Ichimoku Cloud, because this has been a great indicator as we've been going through this all the way along. We're looking at the 5-minute here, so if it crosses above and starts to stage and give us some support, that would be the first stages of a turnaround. Not seeing it here on the 15-minute. It's not skinny, so it's widening out. That means more sideways is probable. This is also looking bearish, where we did get the sell here. We had the crossover of the conversion line and the baseline. Everything's looking selling still on this, on the 1-hour time frame. 4-hour time frame, there we go. The cross has happened where the blue has gone below the red. As it's exiting the cloud, that's also an additional sell signal in a downtrend. Can't wait to see how this plays out, to see it so clearly with all of these indicators giving us such a, it's so obvious it must be wrong. It's just the daily view. It has crossed over. It's in the cloud. Should it poke through this cloud and we have a twist to the negative, there's more confirmation that there's more down coming. But as we go into the weekly, we can see that for this chart, it's no problem for prices to come down here and make their way back up. That would be perfect for this chart. That's sort of what it's telling us. For a while now, it's been saying this. So let's see how this all plays out. I appreciate you guys being along. Let's take one last look at Bitcoin dominance before this goes in. And I want to close off by looking at the altcoins, because we can see that the bearish bullish ratio has really changed. The bearishness, which is the fails and near fails, are going down, and the alerts and the holds are starting to work their way up a little bit. We have a big gap in the middle, and that is all of the neutral coins. Everything is going from a bottom. It's starting to create a bottom formation. Neutral is the first stage before we go into hold status, and this is looking fantastic for the alts. Again, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope this is helpful for you, and we'll see you in the next episode of the 24 Hours of Bitcoin.